Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Dobson 777A here. Well, I'm starting my video a little bit late tonight, but looking at gold price. Gold price is sagging a little bit right now. Looked at my pitchfork chart, and this is just amazing to me watching this thing go up here. The downside risk for gold right now is right around 1700. That's how far we've moved up if we stay within the green, which you can see out of this whole time. There was only the March period, and then at the very beginning we had an issue in May 2019 where it dipped down in this range. But this thing is staying in the green like 99% of the time. This is really impressive. By the end of the year, we are sitting at, it looks like about 1954, somewhere around there, for the center line. But you can see the top part goes all the way to 2071, and the lower part goes to around 1840 or so. So that gives you the rough range of where this thing could be towards the end of the year. Now, both of these are kind of trading in a very small range here, both gold and silver. So it's hard to get excited right now in the middle of the night. Now, we're going to cover some more generic news tonight because, obviously not much has happened over the weekend as far as precious metals pricing. But this is just another sign of the reset. More adults than ever live with their parents or grandparents. A lot of these starter jobs are just gone. They're absolutely just finished, and they're likely not coming back anytime soon. We went through an article the other day where it said it might be 2023 before we see some kind of recovery here. So this is a pretty massive jump here that, it looks like, the peak previously was below 4%, and we're at 9.7%. That's amazing if you think about it. That's truly amazing. Something we had not discussed, it kind of makes sense right now, but there's a professor that says hundreds, if not thousands, of universities will soon be walking dead. And you think about it, a lot of kids were going to college trying to pay their own way, and those jobs are probably gone. Secondly, because of COVID, they've been kind of shut down. I don't know what percentage of the classes are actually all online now, but the problem we have is I think money's just going to be really tight, and there aren't really necessarily jobs available for the folks, when they spend all that money to come through. So colleges may be dead. I've always argued you're better off probably going to a trade school anyways. Find a high quality trade school. You're typically only going to be there in a couple years, and you'll be out working right away, and it's a way less money, and you'll just come out way ahead than the college grads anyways. So think about that. This is quite interesting. Now, another problem that's cropping up related to colleges is, I think we're going to see more of this. Under Armour's terminating a $200 million sports deal with UCLA. And the problem is these colleges aren't fielding their teams right now. And Under Armour's actually already in financial straits because of, the economy the way it is and the lockdowns. People aren't spending money. So this is like a problem. They're paying out money to universities, not getting any bang for the buck. And in the meantime, their stocks crash and everything else. So this is another major thing that's going to hit colleges. I don't know how much of the money that's given for like uniforms and everything else versus the dollar amount is just for, like, goes to the athletics versus the school. I don't know if it's a 60-40 split or 100% of it's just going to athletics. Hard to say, but in any event, this is going to be a big loss. How many people are paying attention? This Three Gorges Dam. This has been big news, and I've read quite a few articles. This looks like this dam was, let's just say, faultily constructed, and they are having massive flooding in China right now. And this dam is actually moved a little bit because it's not really anchored to the bedrock. They have just these massive concrete just sitting on the bedrock. And when the floodwaters are up as high as they are, it's kind of pushing, and the dam is actually moving some. I read something in here that if this dam fails, 400 million people are going to be affected. Yeah, here it is, 400 million people living downstream. Good golly, Miss Molly, that's more than the population of the United States. Can you imagine the death and destruction this thing could have? I was trying to find an article that I read the other day, and I didn't write it down where I'd read it. I consumed so much information, I don't know. I think it was in Africa or somewhere. There was a dam built by the Chinese, and it failed. And they're investigating, the construction, and they're finding out that construction was also faulty. So we got a problem, folks. China's reputation's really, really struggling. Now, I used to put links to all of these articles in the description, and I think it was being caught up by Useless Tube. So I'm going to quit doing that. But if you notice, it's right here. I always show it at the top. So you can go look this up and go find it, where these articles came from. And I think that might save me some trouble, because Useless Tube has been, where it's supposed to take like 10 minutes for them to check the video for monetization, they've been taking upwards of an hour, and it's very frustrating for me. So I'm trying to do something a little bit different here and see if that help speed things up, because again, this is just normal sourced material, but it depends on where it comes from. Like sometimes Zero Hedge and whatever, they want to really scrutinize things from that particular website. But anyways, that's the show, folks. See you tomorrow. I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless.